And we're live. Brenden, Starr, how are you?
Good, good. What's up?
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I was excited to do this one. I've gotten a couple of these out of the way, and it's always good to try to reach out to new guys doing their thing and share my story and where I'm at currently with my music career.
Yeah, I love when new people reach out to me. Just because obviously I can't keep track of everybody who's creating music because there's so many. Um, and there's so many of you guys doing great and cool things. And when you sent me the song and I listened to it, I'm like, wow, this is really good. And it seems that you've had some success over the past couple of weeks when since you released that song.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You want to talk about
The,
that?
the video is trending very well. Just the numbers. So like I don't know. It's doing something on YouTube, that's for sure. I mean, I'm not running really too many campaigns on it. It's kind of been a lot of natural views.
I
So
was
I
gonna
mean,
I
that's
was
kind of cool.
I was gonna ask you. The single's called "Top of the World," and the video on YouTube currently has 20,000 streams or views or whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
so when this gets posted, probably in the next week or so, you'll probably be even higher than that. Um, what could you contribute the success to be? I mean, you said you haven't really run campaigns, but I mean, you're doing something, right?
I think the song is just when I'm looking at the demographic and like all the little statistics of it and who's watching it, I see a lot of younger demographic as well checking it out. Um, I feel like the song just it hits a certain way. Like the beats, it's got that the beat comes in, it's a real heavy kick at the beginning, kind of like a "Eye of the Tiger" anthem. It's very anthemy. When I wrote the song, that was the idea. Is I wanted it to translate where it can be used in like a sporting event. Um, it almost could be like a workout song, just a positive message behind it as well. I'm just talking about, I just want that one shot. Everybody wants that one shot, whatever they're doing, their dreams, whether they're trying to pursue a football career or be a dancer, entertainer, musician, whatnot. Um, I, I just basically say I want that one shot, whatever it's going to take. But I'm also going to know where I came from and stay humble and true to myself and not let, the fame consume me. That's never really been my thing. I just want to get out on the road and be able to share my stories and my gifted talent. I'm a natural singer, but I come from a third generation of musicians. So I'm like the third generation drummer singer in my family. I'm the more rock pop guy. I've been around country music all my life. So trying to switch the regime there out of the
Yeah,
musicians in the family.
yeah, it's not country, that's for sure. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this for?
I mean, I'd say, since my early teens, I've been in a lot of punk rock, heavy metal bands, stuff like that. But I was always the key like songwriter in them as well. Never the front man. And I always played drums, but I always sang too. I used to always wear a headset when I sang, but I was the one writing most of the songs. But I never had the chance to be a front man until like I just called it quits on the drums one day. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go record like a 3-song demo. And a couple of demos later, until I got to this one, which it's finished now. It's getting a couple editing, mixing, and this album is 9 songs. It will be released January 27th. So we're coming up pretty soon. It's coming fast.
Yeah, it'll be
But
Christmas before you know it.
I know, right? The CD release show for that is going to be at Love Drafts in Mechanicsburg, PA. So
Okay.
it's not announced yet. So you're literally like the second person that would know,
Okay.
besides friends and family. But as far as making an announcement, I haven't made anything on Facebook yet because I want to get the next video out of the way that's going to be supporting the album and professional flyer design of all the bands and co-headliner and all that good stuff.
Sure.
So,
And how
yep,
many songs is it?
9.
10 songs. And you're doing the the current 2022 method of releases, you're doing kind of, singles every 6, 8 weeks or so.
Yeah, I'm also gonna try to follow the older trend too, where in the early 2000s bands didn't release a song until after like 3 months.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna test those waters out. I was never been keen on oversaturating my music. You know, like Top of the World. Okay, so we're a month and a week into that song's release, and it's doing very well. Uh, and then because I have a publicist, so I go off of what she says too. When she's like, let's try to push this. Let's push this into Christmas time. See where we're at with the trending numbers and whatnot. Because I'm kind of all for that, testing those waters. But I mean, I will tell you, I already have another song already in the works. It's a remake song. I'm gonna announce that right now too. Um, that's coming out December 2nd, right after Thanksgiving. I did a remake of Richard Marx. Should have known better.
Oh, cool.
Yep, I'm really big in the '80s. I get a lot of influence from the '80s music. My idols are Steve Perry, Journey. Um, so yeah, I mean, to kind of answer your question on both ends there, I will be releasing music often, but I think one of my things that I like to do is I like to pick some of the most rarest songs and recreate them and make them more modern.
Okay.
Um, it could be anything. Like I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but it could be a song by the group Simply Red, which is like a group from the '80s. They did a song called "Holding Back the Years," a real popular like top 40-ish pop, but recreate it, give it a little alternative rock blend, make it more modern now, where like maybe it'll translate to today's youth, but they may not know the song because it's like almost 30 years old.
Right.
I'm all about really like digging deep catalogs of songs and releasing them in between like my originals just to kind of stay relevant, but I don't want to go down the route where I'm being oversaturated as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I
weird. It's weird, right?
yeah, and I'm the same way with shows. I'd rather be out on the road hitting East Coast tour or something than playing, you know, all the venues around my surrounding area within like an hour. I mean, that may work for some people. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it may work if I guess if you're a cover band or something, but I don't know. I feel like it's like a whole nother subject.
Yeah, it's I don't envy musicians. It's like it's hard to like get noticed. It's hard to get your songs in front of people. It's I mean the world in general is just it's a lot, right? So,
Yeah,
what genre would you say that your music is a part of?
I'm gonna go either way with the top 40 pop or rock. The album definitely has like two really big pop songs, possibly three. Um, because I don't want to like just like stick with like the whole album's just got to be like alternative rock. So I mean, I can just say like it's strictly like alternative, but it goes both ways. Like I can release a rock single and a pop single on the same day, and then just see what happens, see what sticks to the wall, you know. But you got the best of both worlds on this record.
And you said the generation before you was kind of country and things like that. How did you find this sound and this style?
Um, I guess because I was like you know, the
The
one in the
rebel.
family. My uncle was the drummer, and he sang, played drums. That's kind of like where I got the whole drummer singing thing. I just thought it was cool, and I wore a headset all the time. And then my grandfather and grandmother went to like Nashville, and they did like a record. And my uncle also went to Grand Ole Opry. Um, I guess something translated with just hard rock, heavy metal. I just remember being over at my cousin's house when I was like 5 or 6, and he had like we'd sneak in his room, my other cousin, and He just had this awesome stereo system. I don't even know if they make them anymore. Remember Serwin Vega?
No.
Dude, there's their like home stereos are just massive. We go in his room when he was at home, and he had like I remember he had Offspring. I think it was Smash. He had Pantera, Vulgar Display, and I was like, "What is this?" I mean, it was just like, pounding, this heavy stuff. We played like Walk and all that. I'm like, "Oh man, this is just like killer." I don't even know what to call it. I just know I'm getting all wound up, and then that's kind of like what started with the drums. And oh, he had like White Zombie's first album, and that was actually the first record I ever got. That's official CD I ever owned was White Zombie's first CD.
Okay.
But when it came time to the pop stuff, I think it was the early '90s house music like Vanilla Ice and Room McCoy and all that stuff. I love that Euro pop music too. Ace of Base. It's weird because you don't really see it in me because I don't really talk about it much, but it does have an influence in my runs and the way I do some of my harmonies because I'm very R&B ish, but then I can go right into like a rock run. So on this record, I know you don't really hear it. You might hear it some little bit in my delivery on "Top of the World" in the verses. It's very built around the drum beat, so I tend to write off the drums too. But to answer your question there, the whole country thing it just never really stuck, man. I guess because it was so forced so much that I had to go to carnivals, going to this concert or that, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, my uncle's here, he's playing, he's in that country band over there, and then as I got older, my dad got me a drum set, and that's when the whole band stuff started happening.
But it's cool though, because obviously that like had a place in starting your interest and starting the thought of doing music, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that's cool.
Uncle props, because if it was never for his drum set, being that my grandpa was he was a car salesman too, so he had his drum set set up in the back room of the car lot where I guess he'd practice. I wasn't allowed to touch it. He had like a nice like Tama car or something like that. And I just remember my dad telling me, hollering at me for touching it. I remember sitting behind it, and then I got hollered at, and I'm like, oh man, what is this? I knew it was like drums, but I was like never allowed to touch it again until like one day my uncle let me come on stage and like demo it for like 3 minutes, and then he kicked me off because I was being too loud.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, how old are you? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. You look young, but I feel like by the bands that you've were mentioning, you might be closer to my age.
Yeah, I won't, I don't like telling my age.
All right, you
Yeah,
don't have to. You don't have to. You
yeah,
can tell me off air if you want to.
but I also have a very wide uh, catalog when it comes to music.
Right.
I've been in school. A few people used to always call me the walking jukebox, just because I had such a wide range of knowing music or being able to answer somebody's question. I used to have people come up to me and ask me, "Hey, who sings this song?" Or you know, somebody randomly messaged me on Facebook, like just like, "Hey, there's this song on this record. Who sings that? Is this band or that?" I don't get it too often now, but I used to get it all the time. Or if
I
somebody wants to sing it.
I have this weird talent, quote unquote talent. It's useless, but if I have the album, um, I can usually tell you, what year it came out, down to the month, sometimes even down to the week, and believe it or not, sometimes down to the exact day.
Wow.
It's
I
weird.
think like that. I can tell you. Okay, I think there was 3 records that I bought all on the same day, and I had to I had to reserve them or pre-order them. They were all three. Two of them were Universal Republic records, and the other one, I'll tell you all the bands because you may have heard them. So the one was called Speak No Evil. They only had one record with Universal. I guess they just weren't getting the right push. The other one was 40 Below Summer. Um, they were signed to, yeah, see, I can remember all this stuff now. They were signed to like Sean Cran, clown of Slipknot's like little side label, No Name or something like that. And then of course the other one was Flaw, which I'm still really good friends with those guys.
Are you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I fucking love that band.
You know, well,
Fucking love that band.
this is gonna be well. We can save this for later in this, but I put on a big music festival. I started the first one back in May. It's called Rock on a Hill, and it's in South Hanover, my hometown. It's something. It's all funded nonprofit. I mean, I'm the promoter of the whole thing, but it's always something I wanted to do as a musician. I did go to Hack for a little bit for music business, but one of my things was always to be like an A&R for a label or a promoter.
Dude, I wanted to
I
be
did.
that when I was in college.
Nice.
That's
They
awesome.
played the. You'll have to go like the page. It's Rock on the Hill Music Festival, or I can put it in your inbox.
Rock
Um,
on the Hill.
they were they were the first one out of the three. It was them, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, and then Tantric was the headliner, and then like freaking like 25 other bands. It was so chaotic. This year it's going to be 20 bands, but I can tell you another announcement, the first for you, because it's not
Oh,
announced on.
getting
So
all of them.
I I'm gonna have Flaw back again. It's not official yet because of contracts.
Got
But
it.
I mean, it's official because Chris confirmed it with me that he wants to come back.
They actually played in Scranton, which is where I kind of am in the middle of Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. It had to have been pre-pandemic, so I want to say 2019. And I forget why I couldn't make it, but I missed that. The album Through the Eyes was like when that
Oh
came
yeah,
out. When that came out, I think it was like 01, 01 or
yeah.
oh
I think you're
02. Um,
01. Endangered Species would be 04.
04, right? Yep.
Yeah, both
Yeah,
records are recorded by David Bottrell. That's why the mix and master is so phenomenal on them.
I loved. I don't know what it was about that band. I don't know if it was the melodies or just I like. I'm trying to think of some of the songs. Uh, I don't know. There were just like it was just such a. I don't know how to explain it. It was just so good. It was. I remember like my freshman year of
Melodic
college. Like,
they would call it melodic core. I mean, it was really just a melodic new metal.
mhm.
I mean, I hate it when people always say, "Oh, this is new metal." Why? Because they're using a seven string. Because as a band has a seven string guitar, there was metal bands back in the day that were using seven string guitars.
Right. Yeah, it was a song. I think it was like "Best I Am."
Oh yeah, that was number 10, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other songs on that album.
Reliance is a nasty one. That's at the end.
My Letter was a great one.
Amendment is one that's a really good one. I used to have that shirt. It was a gray Flaw shirt, and I remember getting in trouble in school, and I tried to be sneaky with it. And I put a piece of electric tape on the words, so it was the lyrics were on it. It had the Flaw stamp, and then it said, I think it said below is the first set of lyrics said, we are recipients of hate. And then back across the shoulder blades, side to side, it said motherfucker. And I took the tape. I took a piece of tape and part of it. Nah, I mean the principal had it out for me because I always was always the funny guy, and I got along with a lot of people in school, but I was an easy target because you know I'd show up at school. I'd take a half day just so I can go get a tattoo and show up at school. They didn't like stuff like that.
That's
I
the
always
target.
thought like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I wasn't a bad kid, but I would get in trouble because of stuff like that, and they give me a school suspension for tardies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
They
guess
had
that's still a thing.
they had a quota to meet.
Yeah, been there like, oh yeah, we caught you skipping school, so you got to sit in a cell block of cardboard,
Yeah.
and they'll give you work. It's so torture, especially for kids that are not like really that bad in school. Just because I break a couple rules, I'm locked up for a week,
Yeah.
away from society.
I actually had Hugo on this show as well at one point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I checked out your stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was an interesting interview. He disappeared on me for a few minutes. It was weird.
of it,
Cause
and no, he was he was a little all over the place. I mean, but he's kind of always like that.
yeah,
When
it was fun. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, like I've had a great opportunity to talk to a lot of bands that like I grew up listening to, which is like blows my mind that I even get entertained, I guess you could say. But like, Cold and Tantric and the Verve Pipe and Everclear.
yes, oh man, I wouldn't mind talking to him because I was gonna do. It never really happened, but I was gonna do a remake of the Freshman.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Um, I was trying to think how I'd really want to do it. It'd be more modern, maybe some a little bit more like electronics with it or something. I know the
That'd
way
be
I sing it, it's not raspy. I don't use a raspy tune with it at
yeah,
all.
that'd be awesome though. I would love to hear your take on that song because I don't know that I've ever heard. You'd think of such an iconic song would have a lot of covers of that, and I don't think that I've ever heard one yet.
You can see a very old video on my YouTube page. I kept this one video from that. There's a show on there from a long time ago um, that I did that live, and you kind of hear me do it. I kept it up there because if I want people to see where I came from and how much I developed as a singer. So I'll say it's good, but where I'm at right now, I'm like light years away from vocally, just from practicing and
Sure.
trying new things with my vocals. But yeah, if
Well,
you want to see a Freshman cover, it's not like a remake, but we did a cover, and these guys that were playing for me on my YouTube page.
okay.
Scroll down, it would be like the first video.
Yeah, and I mean
And
not just like a cover like that you hear at a bar or just anybody doing, but just even like a professionally done like um you see a lot of artists these days like remaking songs, and I thought that might be a song that people might kind of gravitate to, but I haven't heard anybody do that, so I'll have to check yours out.
I definitely will have to make note of
I
that.
got it. It's on my paper here. But you said where you're from. You're from Hanover, PA, and it's funny because when you message me, I'm like, oh, he's from Hanover, PA. And I'm like, I don't think he's from the Hanover, PA that I'm thinking of, which is 20 minutes from where I live.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that.
yeah, near and around, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area. 'Cause I feel like I would have heard of your name had you been around that area. But Hanover, PA, that you're from is what? It's a little south of like Harrisburg, kind of close to Gettysburg.
Yeah, yeah. Gettysburg's like 30 minutes away, and York is, like 25 minutes away.
So I mean, you have like what's the scene like down there? Obviously, I believe Fuel came from York, right?
When I talked to Brett a while back, he told me that Fuel just spent a lot of time in the Harrisburg area, but they're
Okay.
originally, I think, don't quote me on this. I want to say they're originally from like the Tennessee area or something.
Hmm.
But I do remember they did spend a lot of time in PA, and that's why everybody thought they were a PA based band. I think they
Yeah.
just were like in PA, but they weren't started up out of PA originally.
Oh man, you're blowing up. You're blowing shit up right now.
I
And the
know.
PA people are like, oh yeah, we've
I
put
know.
out bands like
Before, but when I actually talked to Brett before, he did was like one of the last runs he did with them before they regrouped and got the new singer. They played a show down in Hagerstown, and I got to talk to him for a little bit down there. And he told me because I asked him, I told him, I said, you guys is like, are you based out of Harrisburg? What was the whole like story behind that? And I can't remember word for word, but I know he said it's not. They're not. Never were like a PA band. They just did play a lot of runs through PA. So I don't know if they were staying in PA, but that seems to be like a Wikipedia search on that.
you're breaking my heart right now. You're
I
breaking
don't
my
know. Like if somebody said, "Oh no, Live's not from York; they're from California," because you know the singer doesn't live in PA anymore,
yeah.
unless he's dead.
Is
But
So I used to work for a radio station called Rock 107. We were going to celebrate our 40th anniversary. Um, the 40th anniversary was February 12th, I believe, of 2020. We had a Rock 107 birthday bash every year, like in April, and Fuel was going to play that. Obviously, COVID, ruined everything. Um, but I believe, or maybe not the whole band, but like most of the original members were kind of back together at that point. Do you know if they're like
Uh,
are they back together now or no?
I seen him twice before Brett stepped away.
So Brett's out.
I say when I seen him, it was just Brett, and it was all other guys. Like two of them were from other bands that tour. Unless he got some of the rich guys during that time frame you seen him, because I would have seen him before COVID. I saw
Right.
him up at Penn's Peak
Penn Peak,
up
yeah.
there. Yeah, I was at that show. It was them and like Marcy's Playground and like Dishwalla.
That's probably it was an awesome show. Yeah. So
But
is Brett in it or no? Is he back out?
no, I think he's done. I don't know what he's doing
Hmm.
because now it's all the original. It would be the second drummer, I believe, and the original guitar player, and then I think the other two guys. Obviously, the singer is new.
See, that's weird because like so I feel like when you're in bands, like you can replace, guitar players, drummers, bass players, things like that. But once you remove the lead singer from a band, I think it's hard to come back from. And I mean, I think it was 2007. Fuel put out an album, August, maybe August, like middle of August. Um, I forget what it was called, but it had a different lead singer. I thought that was a good effort. I don't know how many members of the band were still, um, original members at that point. It was a new lead singer, but I liked the band's album that they put out a lot, actually. Um, Different than the original Fuel stuff, but still decent. But like I feel like once you lose that front man, that face, that voice, you kind of lose like the band. Was that fair
Yeah,
to say?
yeah. I mean, I give credit to Chris Foles for keep pushing the Flow name. Obviously, I'll never get to see the original lineup. I mean, there was, they all have some differences between each other, but it's just Chris. It's just a whole band behind him. But I appreciate that he still wants to keep. He knows deep down inside that the Flaw stuff will always still have its core fan base, and he's just gonna keep going with it and doing new records and whatnot. But like you're saying, like when they take the singer away, it does do something different. I mean, the new guy they got now, he's good. He's doing his thing with him with Fuel.
Yeah.
It's funny with Fuel because if I turn around here right now, I don't know if you won't be able to make it out. A good friend of mine that he passed away a good bit ago. He left me a gift. This one photo I'm pointing here is Fuel's first. I believe it's their first press photo they
Okay.
used to send out to agents, and it's signed. That's the whole original band on that one right there. On
That's
I
cool.
guess you're far left that you're looking at me.
I can see it. Yeah.
You're back. Yeah, because I'm looking in the screen. Yeah, and like that's an Ozzy autograph,
Oh, nice.
and then you can't see the autographs because them old promos were always black and white.
Yeah.
Because all's promo, you can't see it on the other side of the wall, but I have a nice little flaw set up over here, Scott. I managed to snag the endangered species. Do you remember them 10 by? They're not 10. It's a weird size. They would do the album cover, and it's like this yay big, and they would have them. A lot of bands would have them back in the day. You could buy this like thing you could frame of the album cover, and it was an odd size. It was like a 12 by 16. It was cardboard, but it was the whole cover of the cover art. Well, I had the endangered species, and then somehow later on eBay, I snagged the guys. So I had them framed. And then in the middle, it's not autograph. I wish it was. Flawless promo, 8 by 10s in the middle of all the original members. Basically, that back album artwork where all the members are on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
So, I mean,
but
going back to the question I had for you, I mean, like,
yeah,
I feel like that's kind of like a melting pot, like where you're from, like York and Harrisburg, like there's like a scene in that area that, a lot of great music has come out of. Um, and there's I think a couple of venues that down your way that are pretty neat, and still active.
um, I'd say the Mechanicsburg, Harrisburg is just like killing it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm down here all by myself, but once I'm, get the album, I'll be making my way up there and joining the rest of these bands. Obviously, I'm going to be the most different one coming in because there's a lot of metalcore, harder stuff. I mean, you got Eternal Frequency, Defiant. There's this one
Yeah.
band called Dinosaurs in Paris. They're pretty cool. I feel like they got this whole like newfound glory, day to remember type vibe about them. Blink 182. Um, they're all kind of that way. They play around Harrisburg a lot, and love drafts. What is it? The Capitol Room, HMAC. Like I'm hoping to get up that way and doing a lot of runs once we get this album out. It's all gonna depend, man. Like I got 2 shows in December, and they're gonna be like my warm up shows before the big release show at Love Drafts at the end of January.
Yeah. Is there like
Down
a
here, weird. Like in my area, it's a lot. It just might be some acoustic artists or some cover bands. But where I'm seeing like where things are really popping off is the Harrisburg and Mechanicsburg area. It's like a cesspool right now of anywhere from some hard rock, just like some metalcore bands, and they all are very supportive of each other. And they all, will play a lot of shows together. At least
yeah,
that's what I've seen.
abs-
Some of these for the festival back in May. So that's how I've gotten to know a lot of these guys in these bands.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had two of the members from Eternal Frequency on. Um,
Yeah.
they're great. That band's great. Are you or is the venue is it One Point or one center?
One
Um,
center, something like that.
yeah, is that near you?
I don't know. I don't know where that's at. I don't know if that's in somewhere around Harrisburg
Maybe
or
I'm thinking, yeah,
I,
different city.
I know of it, but I've never seen it in person.
I've heard cool things about that place too, or One
I
Point
mean,
Center or whatever.
well, I want to say it's a staple venue right now. I mean, we don't have Chameleon Club anymore.
I know.
It's Love Drafts, or you're going to go to the Capitol Room. I might be saying it wrong. Um, I also just call it HMAC and then the Capitol Room, whatever. Now that they
Yeah,
got Live Nation, like an affiliation with them, they're going to get bigger artists then because of Live Nation teaming up with them.
yeah, yeah. A lot of great places down your way. I wish that was the case up here. We never had like a lot of like bigger venues. We have like some theater style venues here with FM Kirby Center, which is like an 18,000 seat, but it's more of a theater. We
Yeah,
have the Sherman Theater, which is in Stroudsburg, which is like 45 minutes from where I am.
that's one place I'd love to get into.
Yeah, I know the guy that works there. If I'll hook you up with him.
Yeah, I
Um,
can give. Okay.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, there's just not a lot of places in where I live. Like definitely have to travel at least 45 minutes to an hour to see something. If it's not the FM Kirby Center, which is like I said, an 18,000 or 1,800 seat theater. We have the arena here, Mohegan Sun Arena. But like what I'm saying, like mid level, like a Sherman Theater, like a like a those kind of venues where artists like Fuel would play at now, or Flaw and things like that. Um, definitely have to travel these days.
Are you close to East Stroudsburg?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, about 45 minutes
I
away.
one time, and it was a Flaw show. I I don't even think the place is there anymore, but it was called the Monster Factory or something.
Monster Factory.
I bet and Flaw played there, and I remember they kicked like before he got there, a bunch of people got kicked out because they were drinking in the parking lot.
Hmm.
So I remember it was like you could have got like an intimate Flaw show. Now that was like 2/3 of the members were in the band at that time. So I remember the drummer Chris, which I'm really close with. I let him use my drum set so he didn't have to set up, so I got to play on my drums.
Nice.
Yeah, monster or something like that.
Well, I feel like we keep talking about all these other bands. Let's get back to you. Let's get back to what you're doing. You got the new album coming out, 9-song album, January 27th.
Called Hopeless Romantic.
Hopeless Romantic. All right. You have the song Top of the World out right now. It's doing really well. It's a great song. I was listening to it on the way home tonight. I listened to it obviously when you sent it to me. Listened to it a few times there in between then and now. And when I was listening to it, I'm like, this sounds like a little bit of this and this. And I was driving, so I didn't write it down. But I also don't like to compare artists to other artists, just because, like, God forbid if I say, "Oh, you sound like," I don't know, name a band that you hate, and that was offensive to you.
Right.
But the song is really good. I mean, I'm not surprised that it's doing as well as it is. I am. I would love to know what the secret is behind your success, because trying to get action on YouTube is like a nightmare. So good for you.
I don't use Spotify much, and I'm not. I don't think it's any bragging to say like I'm like at like 740 monthly listeners. I guess that's okay. I mean, I don't use Spotify. I may have used it one time because I'm so Apple savvy on everything.
Okay.
You know, those are all natural. I have some curators, you know, trying to get me on some playlists. I do know that it's on like the top rock playlist on Spotify, which is great. I mean, you almost
Cool.
have to listen to the whole thing at work or something to find my song, because I believe it's like a lot. I think it's like 4 hours of music or something. I'm somewhere on there because I remember I scrolled down the list of artists, and I'm on there with like A Day to Remember, I Prevail. So it could go from something like that and then into my song, which I don't even know if this. I guess this song would be played on like 105.7 or the regular rock radio. I
That's
mean, I
great.
don't hear pop because it's just got. I think the guitar tones just a little too riffy for top 40 pop radio.
Sure.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like it would run along the lines beside like some of the older like Imagine Dragons or some other like
Yes.
old.
Yes. Yes. Now, as far as those playlists are concerned, is that something that you are able to kind of help facilitate getting on those lists, or is that something that your publicist does for you? How does that work?
Yeah, my publicist helped out with that.
That's sweet.
We did it to I can't remember the label. It's a small label, and I guess that's just what they do. I don't even know the name of the label. I get so many emails now, but they're out of like I think Texas or something.
Yeah. Well, the
And
reason I asked that is because I talked to not only you know, the national artists, but a lot of artists that are trying to be up and coming and get their stuff out there. So it's important for them to kind of hear about, you know, how all that works, and maybe, you know, get a
uh,
publicist works.
yeah, I mean, with the publicist deal, that was a good friend of mine that I met years ago at a Papa Roach show on my birthday, and I just stayed in touch with him. And one day I was like, "Hey, you want to hear some of my new stuff off my album?" And I was like, I sent him a handful because he was just digging it. And then he's just like, "Man, you got any PR person?" I said, "No, man, just get ready to get this stuff going." Then we just linked up with her. She's out of Philadelphia, and she's already got like a good roster of bands she works with, like Blues Traveler, Candlebox, Fear Factory, Steve Vai, yeah. And so I sent her a couple of my songs, and she liked it, and you know, and she's not just gonna take on, Joe's Garage Band or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really work like that. You may want a publicist, but does the publicist like your stuff, or if it's just not for them? Because there might be another publicist that is going to be have a more open ear towards just strictly metal or hardcore music. she seen something in my music she really liked, and I'm glad she did. And, it's not like she's getting me on the tour or anything next week, but I'm happy for what we got so far with the publicity stuff we got. I mean, I just had a nice article done the other week about me from a former Billboard writer, and he did a nice review on the song, and it was pretty much hit the nail on the head, explaining how the song is very anthem. It can be played in arena, very
Hmm.
arena. I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. He just pretty much summed the whole song up in like a couple sentences. So, but yeah, the publicist does help to got it to the curator team. It just sucks because then the curator team, they got to get paid to do their work to get you on playlists,
Right.
because then they got to talk to the person that started the playlist in the first place and submit the music over to them. So I don't really know how all that stuff works. I just know it's a lot of probably like talking back and forth and sending songs back and forth, and then if they like it, I guess it makes the playlist.
From what I've heard from you is like you're kind of old school in that it's like if you can make a record, put it out, and it be heard by the masses, that's how you would do it. As opposed to like this like streaming services, Apple, Spotify, things like that. How do you feel about those streaming services? Do you see them as a tool and something that can be beneficial to you, or do you see it as this space that's just extremely oversaturated and this area that is just so hard to break into if you don't have a team working for you like a publicist and getting you on these playlists?
I think it's great, but I also feel like it does take a long time to get noticed because so many people have their music out there. And when you're getting plays, um, I mean, I had people that are playing my stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, wow, I forgot that YouTube has a music service.
Right.
Like they'll just like let it run on YouTube when they're working or something. And I just think like the payout's just not enough. Yeah, if you're not like if you're just making music, you're submitting it, and you're not like on the road and stuff. Different guidelines there, but I just wish the payout would just be a little bit better. It's just like, what is it, like cents per play? I can't even remember.
Yeah, it's like 0.00003 or something like that.
Yeah, so I try not to get caught in that. Yeah, I believe it's very saturated with all these services, but you you get the music quicker than what it was 10, 15 years ago. I love CDs. Still have the best quality, but
Right.
with the
Thank
technology
you.
is now, you get new cars, none of them have CD players. So then it's like when I go to get these CDs pressed, I'm only gonna probably press 100, because how do I know how many people are gonna come to the show, don't have a newer vehicle, and just is all like digital and USB and
Yeah.
touchscreen.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, I love and I'm thankful you said that, the CD quality is like you can't get better than that because I have friends who will swear by records and who will swear by, whatever streaming platform. Like there's nothing better than a CD. Like you're not gonna get anything better than that, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. I mean, I have my car's 2022. It's like a Honda Civic or whatever, but nothing crazy. But yeah, no CD player. And I don't honestly in my home, I don't think I have a CD player. I don't. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't either. I mean, but then you always have your Xbox or your DVD player in your house. You can still pull it off.
I have a DVD player. It's not currently hooked up. Um, I have two children. My son is almost 5, so he rules the TV and it's the streaming services. He watches YouTube Kids and watches other kids do other weird shit. Um, so yeah, I don't even have the DVD player hooked up, but
I know
um,
the film. Have I'm a big movie buff. I got the whole little like you know the library shelves stacked beside my TV. I got the horror action section, the comedy sections over here.
dude,
I
you're
hate I'm not
Killing them.
taking them off the shelf because I'll be lazy and I want to. I don't rely on the services, but then the services sometimes suck and don't have what I'm looking for. They won't
Yeah.
all you're looking for it, and then you want to go over and grab it off the shelf, turn the player on. Oh my god, I just wasted 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. I could find it on the TV in like 30 seconds.
I
That's the
so
problem with streaming services. The laziness behind it.
yeah,
And
I fucked up. Like I used to have like this huge DVD collection. Like I would go into like a local record store where they have used CDs, current CDs, used DVDs. I would go to FYE and I would buy
you
like
can look at the bin or clearance 9.99.
yeah, crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But my development just had like a yard sale, like a community yard sale just recently, like maybe like 4 months ago. And I was like, I have these boxes of DVDs, and I haven't even taken the boxes out of like the garage because they were in the garage at my old house. I was there from 2016, and now it's 2022. So over the course of 6 years, never opened the box. And so I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna like watch these. Like, let's just try and sell them. And I sold a ton of DVDs at this yard sale. And as each one went out the door, and like people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have this! Like, I'll take this, I'll take that." I had a good collection, and it was like a piece of my heart like left with every DVD that a kid took. It's kind of cool seeing these kids like, kind of like gravitate to certain things that I grew up with, and they thought that was cool, and when I was a teen or whatever it was, and I'm old now. When this comes out, I will have turned 40 already. Today is Wednesday. I have 6 days until I turn 40.
Wow.
Um, yeah, thanks. Wow.
Past the Libra.
What's that?
You passed the Libra line. I think the deadline already passed being a Libra.
I'm a
Because
Scorpio.
I'm Libra. Okay. So
Scorpio. Yeah.
you already made it right past it then.
November 1st. So yeah, like back to the DVD stuff. Like it broke my heart because like my goal was like, oh, I'll keep it when I have kids, like they can kind of rifle through them and maybe they'll find something. But I'm like, this is just taking up space. Maybe I should get rid of it. So I was like, I was torn by it all. Um, I'm a big the hard copy guy. I used to buy CDs forever until it got to the point where I was buying $50 a week, $60 a week in CDs that I didn't ever really need. I would just go in the local record store. If I didn't have anything I wanted to get, I would still walk out with something. So I would go to the used section or whatever. And I would just flip through like, what cover looked cool, and I would check out new stuff that way. Um, I miss doing that. I miss that kind of um the whole process behind it.
Yeah, I miss doing that as well and taking the CD over to like the little scan bar thing and loading the album up on the headphones in FYE.
Yeah.
I remember that's yeah, I got hooked on Red, the Christian rock band. I bought both their albums the first day I walked in because it actually reminded me of Flaw Vibes because they were very melodic. And I remember scanning both of the albums because I remember hearing Breathe, the Breathe song, their first single, and I'm like,
Yep.
okay, now it's come back to me. And I played some stuff off of their new album. I'm like, all right, I bought them both like right on the spot.
Hmm.
So
I
yeah,
I saw
do that.
Red. I saw Red at Croc Rock.
Croc Rock
Yeah.
played there. I played one show there, but it was down in the basement bar, if you want to call it that. Basement.
Yeah, it's sad to see that venues is no longer. It's
Is it gutted? Does it even have a stage in it?
I think it was torn down. I think there's a
Oh,
parking garage or some kind of office building there now.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Was that near Cafe?
Near
There's that
where?
other venue called Sportsman's Cafe or something like that. That
Maybe.
venue that's open.
I'm not sure. I was only there a handful of times. I saw Honorary Title there. I saw Eve Six there. I saw Red there. Um, that may have been it.
I've only ever seen one show there, and that was because I used to love 36 Bit. Still do. Is they're like I think the only band ever Break out of Alaska. You might want to look that up.
Who's
Metal
that?
Metal 36 Crazy Fists. They were assigned to Roadrunner Records in the heyday of Roadrunner when Slipknot, Cold Chamber, Soulfly,
Cold
all those
Chamber's
bands
good.
were, yeah, all making all that big bucks for the label. 36
Yeah.
Crazy Fists. Because I was that guy. I would go right to their website and look for all their new releases, and then I would write them down, and then I would go to, that's where I go to FYE and like check them out. But yeah, I went to see them. It was them, Napalm Death, and Devil Driver. So Dez in that band.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I only played for 15 minutes, so I was kind of mad.
Hey, that's 15 minutes longer than some people.
Yeah.
So now we're back on other bands. We're getting away from Brenden Starr.
Yeah.
So let's get back to you real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. But you know, you have a history. Your family has a history of being musicians and playing in bands, and it's kind of where you saw it for the first time and started kind of being a part of that life. And what outside of seeing your family members be in bands, like what bands kind of inspired you to start doing what you're doing now?
Um, I'd say Linkin Park. Chester's one of my idols. On the pop side of things, this one's way out there, but like I love the stuff. And when I speak to you right now, my speaking voice never matches my singing voice. So when you actually get a chance when the record comes out, you'll know what I'm talking about. Savage Garden,
Okay,
like
yeah,
all,
hell yeah,
yeah. Um,
Davis Garden. Oh shit. Okay.
Hard to explain unless you're like a gifted singer and you know what I'm talking about. Like my vocal coach, when I go see him like once, once or twice a month, he's like, he understands. But it just blows your mind because you hear how deep my voice is speaking to you, but then my singing voice is just the other side of the world. I think Steve Perry was like that as well. Steve Perry has a real low, soft spoken voice. So
So you're all in. You're you're seeking out outside help. You're seeking vocal lessons and things like
yeah,
that.
because some of the stuff that I'm doing, especially on this record, there's a lot of like difficult runs and stuff that I did in the studio, and I want to make sure my technique is on point when I go play perform live. So I
That,
mean,
that's
these
awesome.
two are at least I know I'm well prepared and because I'm not somebody that stands in one place on the stage. I'm very energetic and I work the stage a lot. So one of my biggest thing is I go into these songs. Am I going to be out of breath? You know, because I like to move around on the stage. Here I come like a big ballad where I got to stand in place. Am I going to have that extra supportive air when I got to hit them long runs? So I just think about stuff like that. I mean, I just performed at our 54th annual. They do a big pageant here in my town, and it was sold out. And I performed my one big ballad off the record called "I Remember." It's I say it's basically like Adele meets November Rain from Guns N' Roses. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
The song is like Adele song, just me and the piano, and then there's a climatic end where it just is a beautiful guitar solo that Hayden Calhoun. He's a guitar player of the band, if not for me, a really good metalcore band from the Harrisburg area. They've been around for a while. He also runs sound for a lot of venues around that area and love drafts. But he mixed and co-produced the record. That's where I recorded with him at his studio in Mechanicsburg. But yeah, his solo on there, man. Adele meets November Rain. Then that'll probably be a single too, just not anytime soon.
Okay.
The next single that's going to be on the off the record, a song's called Gravity, and that's going to be a fun video. I'm actually super excited to do that video. I'm going to be a ghost in that video.
Very cool.
Yeah, the song's about just a toxic relationship, domestic violence, it'll have a good message to go along with it for somebody going through domestic violence and seeking out some help. You know,
That's good.
yeah,
As far as your songs are concerned, I mean, like, do you pull from, personal experiences? Do you write about, you mentioned, domestic violence. Do you tend to write about things that are, you know, common in the world, and to kind of help people find a voice, so to speak?
yeah. I tend to definitely write a lot of like relationship issue type songs. That's one of the reasons why the record's called Hopeless Romantic. I'm just that lover boy type, you know. That seems to be the topic. Always writing about like just songs about females or struggles and relatable stuff in that genre.
Sure.
Um, there's another positive song on the record that can kind of follow up Top of the World. That song's called Crossroads. Um, that talks about me being at a fork in the road before I did this record, and you know, taking a step aside, like, I don't know which path I want to go. Do I want to go back to school? Do I want to give up being a musician? But it was the drive, you know, it sparked, and I'm like, what am I doing wasting my time? I got all these songs written, and I know what my potential is, and I definitely know now what my worth is. So that song's really good. It's kind of got this real like pop rock feel. It's moving a lot, and it's got a nice anthem bridge in it. So that's just another one that like it could easily fall up Top of the World played live, and it would just fit right in. So we got some ballads, got a couple popular ones on there. There's Gravity's definitely like a top 40 rock radio song. There's another song on a record called Flatline. This is another rock one. So, dude, you're gonna get like it's so spread out. You got a few pop ones, and then you got these alternative ones spread out for the album. Then there's these two hard hitters that can just go right to rock radio. So I'm definitely trying to mix it up. And it's not that I'm doing it on purpose, but when that song comes and I know it's not fitting with a rock guitar, it sounds better if it's like some synthesizer on it and we put like some 808s to it, then it's gonna go the other route of being a pop song. It's just because, I can do the whole rock mentality with the pop edge. So I don't want to like, pigeonhole myself to one genre.
Sure.
That worked out for Daltrey really well. I mean, if you go back and listen to the catalog of his stuff, he has some songs that he did the whole popular thing, and then he went back to the rock.
Yep.
So kind
He
of would like to
was
fall.
he was supposed to replace the lead singer of Live, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He had an opportunity to, and he said no. That worked out well for him.
something with Live, and then he got asked to do Fuel too before they got that other guy when Brett didn't want to come back.
Yeah, I feel like I knew that. That's why I kind of brought it up. Yeah, that's weird. That's cool. But I'm excited, man. Like, I mean, I love the song "Top of the World." I'm excited for your release on the 27th, called "Hopeless Romantic."
Yep.
Um,
But the next one will be. I mean, you'll be able to. You might as well say it's a cover song, but it's definitely a remake. Uh, the Richard Marx should have known better.
yep, December
Come out.
2nd.
I said the third, but it is the second.
Yep,
Somehow
December 2nd.
Saturday.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I wish you the best of luck. Where can people find you on social media? Because that's where the kids go these days.
Yep. I'm on all of them, but the ones that I get on is Facebook. So Brenden Starr 12 at facebook.com. Obviously YouTube. I couldn't tell you what my Twitter is. I'm on, I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit better at TikTok. That's
That's a new
Brenden.
space. That's hard.
Yeah, I like doing videos on there, and then I'll move them over to Facebook. That
Cool.
seems to be working. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about Twitter. Elon Musk is going to close the deal on Friday, and he's going to lay off 75% of the staff, and I think Twitter will then implode.
I always thought it was fun to keep up with some of the celebrities. Like I remember I used to keep up with Pink a lot. And she did a tweet one time when she was taking a shit. She was tweeting something on when she was on the shitter.
Nice.
Like, I'm on a toilet right now, da da da. It's just something hilarious.
Yeah, I never got into Twitter. I don't know why. It's just too much. It's a lot of it just moves too fast for me. Obviously, I
Yeah,
think it'll go away because Elon Musk is not going to spend, what 40 is it $4 billion or whatever it might be. I forget what the number is. But he's not going to spend that money and then just let it, go away. But
just wants to buy it out and
I
just
don't yeah, it's just, today is the what's today's date? The 26th of October. I think he's going to close. I saw a video today. He walked into Twitter headquarters with a literal kitchen sink and threw it on the counter and said, oh shit, what did he say? Something about like not I'm throwing the kitchen sink at it, but like I forget. I'm gonna fuck it up. But his goal is to close the deal by Friday the 28th, whatever it is. But I don't know. It's a whole weird thing. His plan is to lay off 75% of the staff at Twitter. Um, this whole thing is like, an issue with a percentage of, uh pages on Twitter being fake. I don't know. It's the Wild West for me. I'm out.
wants to just get it more like under control because a lot of people tend to get shut down on Twitter or suspended or
Yeah. Yeah. But that happens on Facebook too. I mean, I got a warning one time on Facebook. Uh one of my wife's friends posted a picture of her husband struggling to put together something for the house. Maybe it was a table or a cabinet, whatever it might be. And she took a picture of him, posted it on Facebook, and said, "I love, watching my husband like stressed out or whatever it may have been, along those lines." And I commented on it. I said, "That's because women are evil." I'm like, that's an evil thing to do, is to like put your
mm-hmm.
husband in a position where he's like stressed out. And all I said was, "That's because women are evil." And I got a warning for that. Do you believe that shit? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know, man. I wish you the best of luck with all your upcoming songs and obviously the album again that's due out January 27th called Hopeless Romantic. Um,
Yep.
I wish you can continue success on the current song Top of the World. Anyone listening or watching, please go check that out on the streaming services or on YouTube. Great song. And dude, thanks you so much for reaching out to me and taking the time to
Yeah,
talk about who you are and what you do and all that kind of stuff because I love doing this. I love meeting new people and I love being introduced to new music. So thank you again. And I hope that I could, my platform can introduce my listeners and my audience to you.
yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
So whatever I can do to help, let me know. And
Yeah.
hopefully
Uh,
you'll make your way up to, the Hanover that I am near.
yeah.
And maybe you'll play one of these areas like the V spot in Scranton is a great venue.
Yeah,
Um,
whatever contacts you have, I mean, I'll just send them over to my manager.
sure.
And we can I think the goal is this in February I'm gonna be doing a lot of regional stuff. That's my plan. So I think February I want to hit it pretty hard, all the regional stuff.
Well, I've worked
You
in
know,
media for all of my career, entertainment newspapers, radio, things like that. So I do have some connections at local venues here. So hit me up if you're looking to get up this way, and I'll see what I can do for you.
yeah, we'll drop some links.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much again,
I'll
and best of luck.
I'll um I'll drop you the link of the next single in your inbox just so you have something you can listen to it before it drops.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, hook you up.
Well, thanks for all of the announcements. You heard it here first on this podcast. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Grant, well, I mean, this should release. Let me see here. I have one for will be the first or second week of November, so it may not be the first time people hear about it, but thank you nonetheless. I appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, yeah.
So best of luck, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate it.
dude. We'll see you
Take care.
later.
Show what your small business sells in 7 seconds.
Hey everyone, Trickle over 8895 here. Today I'm with my sexy fiance.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And my older brother, who's on the phone, who's not on the phone anymore. Well, aka General Wolfie. It's the 4th of July. The whole pack is together today. Baby Husky's not in the video with us today because she's not feeling well at home. And we're running down to Family Dollar to get some supplies for our 4th of July party that we're having here at the pack house. And it's gonna be awesome! Husky! Oh! Love you too, big brother. Oh, you're squishing me. Ow!
I was gonna say drip one. Like I freaking squish her in the middle.
Wait, no, we're not having a terror sandwich.
I don't want to smush myself. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Hey, good looking. Hi.
They get along so well.